Hey, how's everybody doing? Well, we are, as they say, back at again here, and hopefully we're going to come up with some titillating information for you. I do have a couple of things I want to mention before I get into the video. There have been a lot of people who have been very generous with donations for the 2 Meridian Energetics videos that I put up, and Nicole and I both want to send out a special thank you to all those people who did make a donation. It's very much greatly appreciated at our end, and we will use it very wisely. Okay. The other thing that I wanted to mention was that I will be posting up the 3rd one and possibly the 4th one in a short period of time, but I just wanted to mention before I get into the topic here. I must admit I'm really quite, I don't think the word is not shocked, it's not surprised. I think, I don't know what the word would be. When I got the indication to from source to actually put out the information on the Meridian system, I guess maybe I had an expectation or something that a lot of people were going to be really interested in this, and I was quite surprised that so far, with the exception of a lot of the people who subscribe to our channel, who I know are really further into the evolutionary ascension process, and they have great interest in it. It doesn't seem to be much interest in anywhere else in the spiritual community. I didn't expect anything to be too exciting in the twin flame community. That was anticipated by me. But as far as other groups and spiritual groups, evolutionary groups, Kundalini groups, I'm surprised. I don't quite know what to say. I'm baffled. I would have thought there would have been a lot of interest because there's a lot of physical, mental, and emotional symptoms that I talk about in those videos that I thought would be of great interest to people. However, having said that, we will, as they say, trundle on and do what we can do. Okay, now, the video I'm going to do today is a little, shall we say, unusual in the fact that it's actually a 2-liner that I wrote, and I put it up on my Facebook page a while back. And the more I've looked at it, the more I like it. Okay, and it's stroking my own ego, if you will. But it goes as follows. Okay, and I think we'll take it from there. And it is here as it is. Love will blossom in its own way. It does not require someone to tell it how to. And I'm going to repeat it again. Love will blossom in its own way, in its own time. It does not require someone to tell it how to. Now I'm going to start the video off here this way by saying to everybody, I'd like you just to think about that for a moment. Okay, how many times have so many of you, pretty much all of you, all right, that whenever love shows up, that immediately, you do what is exactly everybody else does. You start having expectations, agendas, and I don't know how many times I've seen people when, for example, if you will, the twin flame experience shows up, that there's already preconditioning, pre-expectations, pre-agendas, and all of the previous dilemmas, confrontations, miseries, hurts, and pains of every kind of previous relationships all come into the fore. And I constantly hear people saying, you know, I had this coincidence that showed up, and I just keep seeing this, I keep running into this person, and this person just showed up, and all of the circumstances just kind of fell into place for us for meeting, coming together, and things have just worked out, and it just was wonderful, and all of that other kind of stuff. And they call it coincidences, all right? Or synchronicities. None of those are the appropriate words at all. What has happened is this. It does not require someone to tell it how to. Love will blossom in its own way and its own time. And I think if there's a message that I want to get out in this video, I think a lot of people have distorted the twin flame, the soulmate connection, the divine partnership, the soul-to-soul connection, whatever you want to call it, and have so distorted it and validated their experiences by quantifying and qualifying different avenues and perspectives of what's going on, that the true meaning, the true definition, or the true unfoldment, if you will, of these connections gets lost in the shuffle. You know, I recently, just to give you an example, all right, I'll give you an example here. I recently took a trip around, if you will, on Facebook, a number of the twin flame groups, and I have 2 groups myself, and we do have some, you know, rules of behavior and stuff like that. They're not long, but they're there to kind of protect the individuals that are involved with some rules of, you know, being civil to people and whatever. But I've noticed there are a lot of new groups going up, okay, and a lot of new groups that have gone up. And I'm going in and I'm reading some of their guidelines, and the word comes up, freedom of speech. It's gone, okay? By the time you go through the agendas, the expectations, the rules, the definitions, there's no room for any kind of energy to express itself except one energy. And the energy is, you would have to be so pure of thought, you have to be so clear of any kind of mental deviations, you would have to be devoid of any personality flaws or whatever. You would have to be almost perfect. So here's what's happening. And it's happening, I see it up on YouTube also. We have a whole pile of people who are living in the world of pretendism. We're going to go in and we're going to go to YouTube and we're going to pretend, based on our experience, that we've got everything going in the right direction and we can validate it for everyone. We can do this and we can do that. And what happens is, somewhere in there, these 2 lines that I've written down have gotten lost. It does not require someone to tell it how to, because that's what everyone is doing. One of the things that I have noticed when I used to do counseling, I am not doing the counseling, I'm not validating twin flames anymore, because it's pointless. Because the people that I've been getting, what's been happening, have only come to me out of desperation. And the desperation is because they think, because I'm knowledgeable about the twin flame and the connection and everything else, that I'm going to be able to give them some kind of magic formula or a system in some way to bring it together. The time to bring it together is from the beginning, not 6 months or a year down the road, when the damage has been done. And now I'm going to repeat it again. I want to repeat this several times during the video. And I really hope you're going to think about this in your particular situation, whatever kind of connection you have going. The title soulmate or twin flame or karmic soulmate, all of that stuff is bullshit. It doesn't really mean anything. It just gives you a focal point, and that's it. Okay? Too much emphasis is being placed on the significance and the importance of it's a soulmate or it's a twin flame. What we need to be focusing on is the significance and the importance of these two lines. And this is where I'm going forward with this, our YouTube channel, and the direction we're going to be going. So pay heed, people. There's going to be some changes here for the Melvinator on how he does things and how he works with people to assist them. The two lines will give you a guideline of what to anticipate coming down the road. Love will blossom in its own way and its own time. It does not need you to tell it how to. Those two lines are going to go very hard with a lot of people. They're going to make you go, gulp. Oh boy, I think I did it. And yes, you did. But it's not your fault. Okay, I want to emphasize that point. No one should feel guilty. No one should feel bad. What I'm trying to do here is to point out what these connections have been trying to accomplish. And I go back to the first part of it again, where I stated to you that these connections come by coincidence. And the other thing, there seems to be this other misconception, is this. People seem to think that these connections are arranged by divine guidance, a master teacher, God, okay, if you will, or some other deity along the way. Let me give you a real eye snapper of a statement. Every two people who have these intense connections by whatever label you choose to put it under, you arranged it yourself. You. No one else. No one outside of yourself. You arranged it. Why? Because you needed it to have it happen. And the variations of the happening are dictated by opportunities in your personality that have been infringed upon, programmed upon, and defined by other people. So what we have on this planet is a whole lot of people who are not free spirits. And when something happens that we don't understand with our present state of consciousness, we label it a coinkydink. Oh, excuse me, a coincidence. Coinkydink is a whole different topic altogether. Watch, there'll be some comments on that one. So this is what is happening. So more and more, when you have these connections, realize something. It's not about a relationship. That is, on a scale from 1 to 10, that's number 9 3/4, or whatever, of importance or significance. Number one is if a great many of you really want to start manifesting what you call unconditional love, you've got to be in the right condition to do that. And what is the right condition? Again, love will blossom in its own way. It does not require you to tell it how to. So, what is happening? What is happening is your consciousness, your mental, your emotional, is all going through this transitional change. And that transitional change is going to put you in a frame of mind where you're open and you haven't built a whole pile of expectations and agendas. Okay, let me give you another example. A great many of you, when you first came together with the connection, you went into a state of mind, or state of being, or a state of consciousness, whatever you want to call it, where you were in communication with the person. The connection was there, you could talk for hours, Everything ebbed and flowed between the two of you. The intimacy was wonderful. The physicality, the being together was wonderful. And it lasted for a period of time, and it varied from individual to individual as to how that went. What do you think you were doing? It does not require someone to tell us how to. What you were not doing, you were not in your old frame of mind. That would be the tell it how to. You were in a new frame of mind where all of that stuff had been submerged for a period of time to allow you and the other person to identify or connect with this new state of mind and being, which put you into the experience that you had with the other person. So the question is, okay, this is good. So why does it take two people to do this, to come together? Have you noticed that on the planet we talk about yin and yang? We talk about masculine and feminine, boys and girls, men and women, and gee whiz, every one of these expressions that happen between two people is exactly what is required, that they've arranged themselves, the two of them, to present themselves with the opportunity of evolving and growing spiritually. You see? And then along comes somebody and says, well, you can only have one twin flame, but you can have many soulmates. Okay. Everybody is a soulmate. Everybody. Everybody is a twin flame. Everybody is a divine partner. When you take that something that's up there, that you experience at that short space of time, and there's no synchronicities, you're there, you're one. You have had that potential to have that state of mind or being since you came into physical reality. As you grew up as a teenager, as a child, and you reached into adulthood, everyone has a time, everyone has a moment when they will be given the gift of experiencing their true self, feeling unconditional love for another, and feeling totally in union with the other person, not to mention when they're in that state of being or mind, they're also totally in union with themselves. Their identity experience is new to them because it's not familiar to them, because it's been submerged within them. In my opinion, this is probably going to be one of my most important videos. And I hope it gets around. A lot of places, this one does. And people actually begin to open their minds. Okay? What has happened is we have achieved to this point a certain vibration, a certain awakening of the heart center chakra, and we've achieved a certain state of consciousness. But we have not arrived fully to be awakened yet. I said yet. Because now is the time we need to clean out what we've created in the last 5 years, especially in regards to the soulmate, twin flame, divine partnership, soul-to-soul connections. We need to clean that out, and we need to relook at what's taking place, all right? And we need to understand there is no such thing as a coincidence. Coincidence is simply showing us the limitation of our mind because we don't have the consciousness that can understand what a coincidence is or a synchronicity is. We don't have the capacity to do that. But when you're in what I called some years ago and coined as a saying, the bubble love phase, you are who you really are for that period of time. So you've gotten a taste of it. And you weren't concerned about anything at that particular point when this was going on. So now somebody's going to say, well, okay, I get what you're saying and I understand totally what you're saying, but how do I get back to it? Here, again, everybody's experience is unique to themselves. Everybody's personality is different. There are no two people alike on this planet that have identical personalities. I don't care even if it's identical twins. They do not have identical personalities. And they do not have identical intelligence. Okay? Intelligence to me is not tests you can do on paper. Intelligence to me is the unfoldment of that inner part of you that can decipher and see what potentially is coming toward you or what potential is there for you. But that comes from within you. It doesn't come from without. So I'm going to say it again. Listen closely to as I say this and then ponder on what I'm saying for a couple of minutes, if you will. Love will blossom in its own way and its own time. It does not require you to tell it how to. Now, when you think about that, go back and think about all of the times that you have experienced some vibrational pattern or experience of love, and immediately how you jumped on the bandwagon with all of your innuendos, belief systems, ideologies and philosophies, expectations, agendas, etc., 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 and how all of a sudden two people started doing that, and what started out as a possible becomes a complete basket case of he said, she said, or he said, or whatever combination you want to use these days. Doesn't matter. Okay? And it ends up being a mess. So the idea here is this. And this is what I'm going to attempt to do. Some years ago in the past, I created for myself some exercises. They were a combination of meditation and visualization. And the other thing that I hear people, especially in a lot of twin flame groups and a lot of spiritual groups, I constantly hear this word. Well, I'm working on this and I got to work with that. And yeah, I got that down the road. I'm going to be working on this or I'm working on that part of myself. And you know what? That's the most disgusting word I've ever heard when it comes to yourself. You don't want to do it. Adults are no different than kids. They are not. You are no different than a 14 or a 15 or 8 or 9-year-old kid. All you really want to do is have fun. That's what it's all about. We all want to have fun. But we've been so conditioned by our society. Okay, and I want to mention this. Every day, in every way, you are bombarded with advertisement input to change your behavior to suit the convenience of others. In other words, in order to have fun, you got to get on a plane. You got to go to wherever you got to go to. In order to have fun, you got to be entertained from the outside. Okay? We are so conditioned to behavior programs, we don't even know it anymore. We've lost ourselves. All right? I'm going to give you an example. All right? And this is one I saw the other day. I actually talked to Nicole about it. And I'm not jealous, okay? And I'm not in any way. It's just, it kind of, I wasn't aware of it. Somehow or other on my YouTube channel, I guess the algorithm showed up or whatever, and I had a lady doing yoga. there. And I was really, I guess maybe I'm kind of in the dark a little bit when it comes to what's going on YouTube. But she had a little string bikini on, okay, and she was doing wide open leg yoga movements kind of thing. And I was saying to myself, wow, this is really something. And I looked at the count, and she had put it up, I think, it was only about a minute and a half long, because you have to be a fan to see the rest of it, kind of thing. And I took a look at it. She put it up 6 days before, and it had 350,000 views. And I'm going to myself, I'm saying, holy shit, 360,000 views in a few days? And I got, a video I just put up on the Meridian system, which I thought was probably some of the most important information for the whole of the evolutionary process and the spiritual community. And it's been up for 2 weeks, and I haven't got 5,000 yet. And I asked myself a question, we got a serious issue going on. So I poked around a little bit more, excuse me. So I poked around a little bit more, and I'm going worse. I poked around a little bit more, and what I found also is I found young men doing the same thing. Okay, wearing nice, tight little bathing suits that didn't leave much to the imagination. Okay, and they're doing the same thing. And I'm saying to myself, this is what people do for entertainment and fun. And then I said to myself, well, you got to realize one thing: sex still sells, doesn't it? It really does. And then I go back and I'm thinking to myself, love will blossom in its own way. It does not require someone to tell it how to. And I thought about the videos that I saw up on YouTube. And I realized something, that the spiritual community, the evolutionary spiritual community, is a very, very small group of people. While you will look up see on YouTube the spiritual groups or the spiritual teachers or whomever up there that calls themselves a spiritual teacher, in comparison to the general population, we are a very small number. And we are more or less kind of a niche market. Yes, there are people waking up every day, but I realized something: we still got a long way to go. And I keep hearing people in the spiritual community keep saying that thousands of twin flames and soulmates are now coming together. You know what? That's horseshit. They're not coming together in great big themes and things. We're still mucking around in the dark. We're mucking around in groups, cloistered little groups, with their deacons and their priests and priestesses, and we're setting up a whole bunch of rules of behavior, and there's no room for growth, there's no room for evolution, there's no room for nothing. It's like everybody is setting up their own little state of consciousness. So the idea in doing the video was to express to people in a way that change is now essential and necessary as to how we view, how we see, I'm not going to use the word work, how we navigate these connections, and that's the way that I'm going to go. My focus from now on is going to be working with people before they even have the twin flame experience, or once they've had it in the beginning is when I want to reach them, and that's where this channel is going to be going. And I'm going to do that through the Meridian Energetics Inner Child exercises that I've created over the years, and I'm going to be promoting information along that line. Somebody's going to say, well, you're still going to do twin flame videos? Yes, I am, but in less number. And I'm going to be doing it with a different defining direction of where I'm going with any particular video at that particular point in time. So I'm going to be combining a lot of things together. So I'm again going to say to you, think about this for a moment. I want everybody to think about this that watches this video. How many times have each and every one of you done this, where as soon as that connection, that love feeling comes into play, you come into play and add in your expectations and agenda? We're all going to have to learn, whether we like it or not, that love, as we understand it, is limited in our perspective. True love, in its perspective, does not need us as a guiding light. It does not need us to give it an agenda, form, shape, or whatever. That can all be done in that state of mind that you experienced in the bubble love phase, and that's the state of mind you need to be in permanently. Not for a week, not for 2 days, not for 3 months, not for a year, permanently. Okay? Let me ask you all this question. How many of you out there have ever thought, what would it be like if I was in that bubble love state of mind permanently? Permanently. How you would look at unconditional love then? How would you look at defining love from that perspective and state of mind and being? Think about that, people. Permanently, you would be in that state of mind. And possibly permanently, the other person would. Everybody's going to keep getting the same opportunity over and over. If you've had it once, you're going to have the same opportunity again if it doesn't work. All of this bullshit about you can only have one twin flame is just that. People who tell you that have a limited experience themselves. All right? This is not about twin flames. This is about acquiring the bubble love state of consciousness, which thousands and thousands of you have experienced, and manifesting it permanently as your daily state of consciousness. And that's the struggle we're going through right now, and so many of us are missing the mark. Okay? To give you an example, if you really want to start doing something that's positive for yourself, in your meditations from this point on, any of you that have experienced that mystical bubble love state where everything just flows together and the synchronicities, as you call them, are just amazing to watch. I can't believe what's happening. It's just all falling into place. You arranged it. Why? Because you were in that state of mind. That state of mind, the bubble love phase, I got a secret for you. It's your bloody birthright. It's your birthright. It's who you are. It's been stolen from you by, listen closely, those who manipulate you, control you, use you. Politicians, political structures, religious indoctrinations, and any other thing that devises a program to control or manipulate you in any way, shape, or form. This is why you get all of these people running around with conspiracy theories. There is no conspiracy. It's a program that's been going on for millennia. This is why we have wars going on, because wars have been going on for millennia. If you can't find a solution, start a war. Okay? In the bubble love state of mind, do you see anybody fighting? You see anybody arguing? You see anybody heing and sheing? Do you see anybody judging each other in the bubble love? Do you? No, you don't. Why? Love will seek its own expression. It does not require you to tell it how to. And some are going to say, but no. If you're going to be in a relationship, you have the right to expect things. Really? Who told you that? Your mom? Your dad? Your girlfriends? Your boyfriends? Your educational system? The chaos we have going on our planet right now is this. And here's another question for all you wise people on our channel. What is it you're all looking for? Everybody I talk to can tell me, well, I'm looking for something. I want something. I'm looking for something. What is it I'm looking for? And what are you all doing? You're all looking on the outside. You're looking for it from another person. You're looking at it from your government. You're looking at it from your religion. You're looking for it from a life coach. You're looking at it from a twin flame expert. Okay? You're looking for you. That's who you're looking for. Am I getting home here? You're looking for you, and because you can't find you, you're lost. So because you can't find you, you have to grab onto something that gives you something tangible to make you feel as though you have purpose, you have function, you have focus, you have some kind of reality to be in. You see. What I'm saying to you, your birthright is that state of consciousness. This is something you all can attain to. There is nobody that's not worthy. There is nobody who doesn't rightfully have access to that state of consciousness on a perennial basis. We have had, throughout history, here and there, individuals who have experienced this particular state of consciousness. Gopi Krishna, Alan Watts, and a few others who have attained this state of consciousness on a perennial or semi-perennial basis. Now is the big leap, the quantum leap, of so many of us in the spiritual community attaining that state of consciousness. In order for us to do that, we need to take that last step, that last little push forward, and I'm going to be the pusher. I'm going to be the man. And on a bad day and a good day, I can be either the male or the female. I can switch back to my masculine and feminine at will. Kind of deal. All right? Now, come to think of it, I apologize for my little gurgle at the throat there a few minutes back. What had happened was, to be honest with you, is I had a really big heart center surge when I got into this video in the middle, and it caught me all up in the throat. That's what happened, kind of thing. My heart center just going completely ape shit right now. You know, like I'm going, bats in the belfry kind of thing. So, because I'm into it, all right? But I really want y'all to understand that I'm on everybody's side. All right? I'm not in a position where I'm judging you. I'm not criticizing anybody. I'm pointing out situations that need to be addressed. The spiritual community has become so protectionism minded that we've locked ourselves in to certain mindsets and belief systems that need to change and evolve. And it's time now to do that. The other thing is this, and I'm going to just slip this in here at this particular point because I want to end this video in a minute. The videos that I put up about the meridian system, okay, there is a fourth video. There is a fourth video in that series of videos. The fourth video is not even available to my meridian energetics practitioners. They don't have the information either. The fourth video gives, if I put it up, information of the energy that's available through certain meridians to retrieve that particular state of consciousness that I'm talking about in the bubble love phase. But it's not accessible unless you're ready for it. And this video that I'm putting up today, well, not today, but in the next few days, is a precursor to that video. You must be understanding, first of all, this, what I'm talking about here. You must understand what I mean. Love will blossom in its own way and its own time. It does not need you to tell it how to. There are going to be people that hear me say this, and they're going to get pissed off. They're not going to like it that I put it this way. Then there's going to be people who are going to listen and they're going to say, yeah, he's right, I did do this quite a few times. And yeah, I'm definitely going beyond the soulmate and the twin flame concept because it's too limited. It's too boxed in, and it's getting even more boxed in. And there are going to be other people going to say, yeah, he's right. It's not a case about being right. It's a case about I know what's coming next. I know it. And we have to prepare ourselves to get into that state of bubble of mind again by understanding that there's no such thing as synchronicities, there's no such thing as coincidences, and there's no such thing as somebody who arranged for us the twin flame experience. We need to first of all understand we arranged our own twin flame experience. Who better to arrange your twin flame experience than you? I ask you. Now, look at me when I say that. Who better than you to arrange your own twin flame experience? That is going to put some people on the defensive really quick. Okay? And they're not going to like that. Tough. I don't know if you notice right now, but on the world and the planet right now, we're going through a lot of stuff that people don't like. And they're doing things they don't like. Tough. It's a time of change. It's a time of getting rid of the old and making way for the new. And this applies in the spiritual community, especially in the twin flame community at this time. So when you really get into this two-liner, I'll tell you, when this came to me, and I put it up on my Facebook, I couldn't let it go. I was into it every day. And I was just like, wow, this is really deep. Now you really pulled your socks right up around your head on this one. And I was thinking about it, and I'm saying, wow, do I have some stuff here that I need to kind of take a look at? All right. But here's the deal. A lot of you should be at the point now where you got your big boy or your big girl pants on. You should be able to take a look at yourself, and say, Mel's right, there's an opportunity here for more growth. I didn't say to deal with negativity. There's an opportunity here to grow even more. There's an opportunity here like, wow, man, would I ever like to go back? And hey, let me ask you this question, y'all. Right now, right here, today. With all this COVID shit going on the planet, wouldn't you like to be in the bubble love phase of mind today and stay there for the next 6 months? Huh? I can see the hands going up. Oh yeah. I'm good with that. Then work at this in understanding it first. Love will blossom in its own way and time. It doesn't need you to tell it how to. That 2 lines is the most philosophical, spiritual, evolving 2 lines that I have heard anywhere on the planet at this time. It is a keynote and a door opener to you evolving and growing even more in the coming months. Think about what I just said. Think about when you were in the bubble love phase, and think about if right now, with all the goody stuff that's going on the planet, and you were in the bubble love phase for the next 6 months, one, you would be at a vibrational high. You couldn't catch a virus if somebody shoved it up your nose. 2, given that opportunity, you'd be in a bubble love phase for 6 months. Imagine the condition of your body as it wallowed in the Holy Spirit. Yes, the Holy Spirit is what I'm talking about, in the biblical sense of the word. But you don't have to go to church to get it. It's available to everyone now for free. Just open the door. You open the door by thought. Think about what I said in those 2 lines. And when you get past the point of your nose being out of joint and your panties being in a knot, and you really get a chance to digest it, you can say this: that friggin' Malvinator, he knows what the hell he's doing. He does. And you bet your sweet bippy I do. How's that grab you? My friends, ladies, gentlemen, think about these 2 lines. Really get into them. Listen to this video several times. Pass the damn video around. Put it up everywhere that you can. And let's see how many others we can get them past synchronicities, past coincidences, and past all of that garbage that doesn't need to be expressed anymore. All we got to do is open the doorway. How's that sound? Sounds damn delightful to me. Thank you for your attention. Nice to be back. Take care all.